Now, Cars on the Road undoubtedly has garnered a lot of mixed feelings amongst the Cars fandom, and totally understandable. I mean, we came into this show expecting to see a lot of recurring characters from the franchise because that is what we were told. And we only got Cruz Ramirez in this very episode that we'll be breaking down today. Now, in my opinion, at the end of the day, it's a fun little show. You know, you could sit down, not have to worry about anything. It just kind of allows you to escape reality. And for me, it's more Cars content. The Cars franchise is more alive than ever, and I believe there will be a lot more content in the future. And we'll talk about that a little later in this video. But of course, welcome to my breakdown of the finale, the 9th episode of Cars on the Road, called Gettin Hitched. Of course, when Mater and McQueen finally make it to their destination for Mater's sister's wedding, Mato and Mateo. Now, I know this breakdown is long overdue. I just, had to prioritize other videos, and it's time. I mean, so many people are asking me to do this video. It's like, okay, I gotta do it. And I hope I made it worth the wait. I have a lot of cool stuff to talk about. A lot of people were saying that this episode didn't really have a lot, of Easter eggs and whatnot. And I kind of beg to differ. There's a lot of stuff to get into. So we're just going to dive right on in. Can we appreciate the beautiful foliage in this opening shot? The season is clearly fall with the leaves changing colors, meaning winter is on the way. And that leads me into my next point. McQueen mentions how he wants to fly back home while Mater wants to drive, clearly setting up the second season, which of course I just kind of alluded to earlier. With the change in the seasons to winter, Pixar is teeing us up for some snow-themed episodes in season 2. Whether it be skiing or something on an ice lake, I could totally see it. Mater backfiring here is a callback to Sheriff backfiring and McQueen mistaking it for gunshots in the beginning of Cars 1. We see Mateo right off the bat, and his license plate probably referencing someone with the initials JS and birthday January 20th. So Cruz, of course, shows up here, finally. Everything is pretty self-explanatory with her. I think it was a bit much for her to go on and on and on during the entire episode, unrealistically about skills she picked up in the off-season. But it was finally nice to have a Piston Cop reference. They do kind of talk about, Cruz's future and what she's been doing, of course, during the off-season. And that obviously implies that she's still racing, and there's an implication that McQueen is as well that we'll get to in a bit here. There's a lot of licensed models in this episode, which I love. You have older Mustangs like Brent Mustangburger, Maseratis, Audis, Corvettes, etc., even Citroens. Can we take a moment to appreciate the killer stash on Justice Stern here? And yes, that's his actual name according to the credits. Mato introduces herself as Ta Mato, just without the ta, just like Mater did at the beginning of Cars 1, so another Cars reference there. The backwards driving race makes sense here, and we now know how Mater became so good at it, so yet again, another callback to the first movie. Slight issue with this though, how do cars climb trees? This just seemed like very lazy writing. They could have easily come up with a myriad of better challenges for Mater and Mato to do. I mean, they said that they did like 100 or something in the episode, and yet the ones that they showed, like some of them just made no sense. Mato flipping through the air as well was a bit off-putting. All right, guys, it's official. The lemons are back. And as you can see, these two pitties were at the Porto Corso Casino working for Professor Z and are clearly undercover here as judges. Yeah, no, I just want to make sure you guys know that was a joke. I know that the pitty model is slightly off on, them, so I want to make sure you guys know that is a joke. All right, so the word Mater spells out here is chiaroscurus, which is a type of artist. Kind of weird. I didn't really see any connection like why they chose that word, but there it is. This car's license plate is from Nebraska, which I believe was carified in another project as Nebraska. They also say Nebraska in the episode here. But either way, it certainly shouldn't be straight up the same as in the real world. Like every state except for California and Florida have been carified. And yet the following shot contradicts this very, very principle in the inverse way. we have the stack of license plates, and now we have carifications of states that should not be carified, like Florida and California, Florida and California. Oh my God, Disney and Pixar, what are you thinking? There's the Los Angeles International Speedway in California. They said California 1 billion times in Cars. They say Florida 500 1 billion times in Cars 3. Now, I do like Florida being called the trunk line state here because in real life, it is the sunshine state. I love the carifications, but like in these two instances, it should not be carified. And there are 48 other states you could have chosen from Disney and Pixar. Jesus in the morning. Louisiana, though, is a fun one to say. All of these are birthdays and initials, by the way. I can't figure out who is who. And like that JS one on Mateo, I thought that might have been Jay Schuster, but I can't really find his birthday. The only thing I found was maybe January 5th, but that's 15 days off. All right. All of these games seem pretty silly, but when it comes down to it, Mato's critiques of Mater are actually rather fair. She's calling him out for being too carefree and aloof, which she kind of has a point. But no worries, Cruz's PhD in every field known to man solves that off screen, guys. Don't worry about that. Now look at this field of luxurious cars. Oh my God, they all look so good. And that one there looks like Sterling, which is not fun. But yeah, it's happened before, happened again. Now this shot of them with the cans on their bumpers is a parallel to the same of Lizzie and Stanley from Time Travel Mater. And Mater said, actually, it's kind of interesting. He said in Time Travel Mater that he always cries at weddings, but we don't see him crying in this one. I want to know what's inside this mansion, though. Some of the windows are lit up in like a red tint. What's going on in there now that Mato is gone? So McQueen says something very pivotal here. See you on the track, racer. You don't say this if you will be seeing them from the sidelines or coaching them. This essentially confirms that McQueen is still racing, and hopefully we do see that come to fruition. So like I said, although it confirms he's still racing, it does not confirm that we will ever see him race again. Also, check out the animation in this shot of McQueen's reflection in Cruz's bumper. I like that. Like, that's good animation. Mater mentions wax museums as the next potential stop, which would make a cool episode, maybe seeing all the sorts of historical figures in wax or wacky car models like motorcycles. I think that would be pretty sweet. And of course, they drive off into the sunset. Such a typical ending. But I do like this episode. I like the conflict between Mato and Mater, not necessarily all their goofy challenges, but ultimately what it came down to is just like their differing personalities, which of course, it's going to make sense that they're going to clash because they are very different. I mean, Mater's personality will absolutely clash with somebody who is very regimented and structured and disciplined. So that is all, guys. I do want to touch briefly on season 2 potential and season 2 when. A lot of people have been asking, when are they going to confirm Cars on the Road season 2? When's that happening? First of all, we need to talk about if it will be confirmed, and I'm going to say yes. Yes, it will be confirmed. If they're going to make a second season of Monsters at Work, they're going to make a second season of this. However, they're in a little bit of a different predicament because it's not animated by their other production studio. It's Pixar, so that's more costly and a little bit more. Pixar has a lot of things going on. Like they have movies and stuff, and they can only do so much. Like there's only so many people and so many computers and so many things that could be rendered at one time. So that delays a little bit more. However, Mater says that McQueen gets to pick the next 3 stops and he gets to pick the next 12. So 12 plus 3 equals 15. Drop the 1, you get 5. 2025! Oh my gosh. Yeah, that will be my prediction for season 2 of Cars on the Road. I think it will get confirmed at the end of this year. And similar to, the time frame of when it got confirmed, when season 1 got confirmed, I think, like a year and a half after that, we will get it in 2025. That is my formal prediction. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What was your favorite episode of Cars on the Road? Very soon, guys, I will be ranking all of the episodes in order, so definitely stay tuned for that. Thanks as always for your support. This was a damn good episode, I'd say, and you will see me rank it as such in that video. Although I know I critique it pretty heavily, but all of the episodes have even more laughable ones like that. And I have to say, the best episode is the best by far. Like, it's not even close. And that's just kind of weird to say. All right, guys, thanks again. See you next time. Bye now.